Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Stories about the Scientology shooting in Portland, published November 24th, 2008. I always take these stories with a grain of salt, too, because you know how OSA changes stuff. And the LAPD. The shooting, Violence Visits Scientology, dated Thursday, September 26, 1996, by Brian Smith and David R. Anderson of the Oregonian. 7 months ago, Jairus Chiguero Godeka threatened to K everyone, K-I-L-L, in the Portland Church of Scientology unless they gave him $50,000 for ruining his life. Yeah, because they owe him that money. You see how they taint things here? On Wednesday, police say Godeka walked into the church's downtown Portland office and SHOT bang bang and wounded 4 people, including a pregnant receptionist. Godeka set a fire and briefly took another woman hostage at the church's Portland Celebrity Center before a police officer, only one police officer, persuaded him to surrender. The attack brought activity on Southwest Salmon Street and Broadway to a halt as police and firefighters massed in front of the office. Workers in and around the Scientology Center scrambled for cover after hearing shots, some turning back to see a bloody victim clutching his chest stumble onto the sidewalk. Godeka apparently was motivated by a grudge against the church. See how they paint things? I'm not condoning violence at all. He blames the organization for ruining him financially and thinks it has kept him from bringing his sister here from Kenya to study, according to police reports. That would make a lot of sense. So apparently he's from Kenya. Of course, right? In San Francisco, where Godeka lived recently, he sent a remote-controlled toy tank in front of the Church of Scientology branch with the message, "Next time it will be real." How do they know it was him? In February, he called the Portland offices, repeatedly demanding money for the ruin of what he described to police as a San Francisco company that sold lighting equipment. Of course, they didn't put the name in there, did they? The receptionist, Helen M. Burke, apparently was the primary target of Godeka's threats because she was the one who answered the phone. Burke, 44 and pregnant, was in critical condition Wednesday night at University Hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest and an abdominal injury. Doctors said she had some paralysis from the bullet, which lodged near her spine, but that it was too early to tell whether the condition would be permanent. Burke is in her 2nd trimester. The baby was unharmed. 2 other victims, Stephen Roy Crandell, 45, and Carlos Colon, 24, were in serious condition. Wonder if they were the security guards. The handlers. Crandell, executive director of the church, was shot in the abdomen. Colon, a visitor from the church's Clearwater, Florida branch, suffered a gunshot wound to the chest. I don't condone that whatsoever. But I do wonder what the history was there. I bet this guy Colon was just, like giving him the runaround and just, things like that. A third man, Jim M. Stone, was shot in the hip, but did not realize he had been injured until nearly an hour later, when he pulled out his wallet, and discovered a bullet had pierced it. He smiled and waved as rescue workers wheeled him to an ambulance. He was treated and released. Wednesday's attack occurred as the lunch crowd began to fill the downtown sidewalks near the church's center at 709 W. Salmon Street, across from the Heathman Hotel. Another hotel. Police said the gunman walked in the front door carrying a red plastic gasoline container and a .45 caliber Ruger semi-automatic handgun. He shot Burke, who sat in the lobby just inside the door. Crandall and Cologne came downstairs, and he shot and wounded them. Others hit the floor while workers upstairs fled through a back door. Well, I wonder, did that guy Cologne make it? If he was shot in the chest? The gunman spread gasoline and spread a fire that set off 2 sprinklers. He grabbed a woman, Jacqueline Stone, the wife of Jim Stone, and headed through the interior passages to a fire exit on the west end of the building. Meanwhile, witnesses rushed to call 911, including a man from inside the church, who ran to Machismo Mouse next door. He was frantic, said Jen Needler, 21, who was working at the restaurant. He kept asking where a phone was and said that a person had been shot next door. He said he had been bang bang at. Hopefully the SHOT doesn't get me in trouble. Charles Mann, a course instructor who went upstairs in the church office, said, "We knew we had to get out of there. We just heard shots and took off." I'm surprised they didn't have like drills to prepare for something like that. Every workplace in America does. Mel Murphy, on his way to lunch with a coworker, saw men running in flames inside the building. Crandall was hobbling down the sidewalk. He said, I've been shot, Murphy said. Murphy, who had called 911 on a cellular phone, saw a second man, Cologne, who had been shot in the stomach. Well, I guess he was in his stomach. As Murphy helped with the 2 men, a coworker, Mike Pico, a coworker? Isn't it a church? I thought it was a church. Didn't you guys think it was a church? Mike Pico tried to get in a door to help Burke. Before he could, he said, someone yelled, G-U-N. G-U-N. There's a guy with a G-U-N. Everyone dives behind cars. Portland firefighter Rob L. Burson was among the first to arrive. Well, they've got him on speed dial anyways. He rushed to the office door just as the blank man burst out with his arm around Jacqueline Stone, a blank to her head. I saw what was going on and I knew I didn't want to be there, he said. I yelled G-U-N and then ran and told others to get back. As the G-U-N man opened a metal fire door, Portland police officer Tom Mack and homicide detective Sergeant Dave Ruby were on the sidewalk. The blank man stepped back inside. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry that I keep interrupting, but I'm a little confused. Why would the homicide detective be there already? Inquiring MF minds want to know. I'm just saying. My assessment was he wanted to end it right there, Max said. He said, I don't want a DIE. I don't want you to blank me. Mac decided a quick resolution was better than pushing the blank men back into a burning building with stone. Mac talked him into opening the door a crack. He convinced the blank men that police wouldn't hurt him. My word wasn't good enough for him, Mac said. Well, why would he trust anyone? I'm not saying this dude is right. I'm not saying that at all. The blank men wanted Mac to put his blank down first. First, Mac tried to hide his blank behind his leg. He's not that crazy, Mac later reflected. Mac agreed to put his blank down if the blank men did. Mac knew there were other officers nearby. Mac holstered his blank first. But the blank men balked when he spotted another officer across the street with a blank. We get it. So Mac went a step further, turning his back briefly on the blank men. Mac told the officer to move. Me personally, I have to interject here. They're really over-explaining a lot, which makes me really doubt the story, to be honest. You know, if a story is a story, you don't have to over-explain everything, you know? Makes me not trust it. I think that was a turning point, Mac said. The blank man allowed Stone to kneel and then put down his blank behind her. Then Godeka knelt and let Mac handcuff him. Mac said everyone stayed cool during the standoff, which didn't last much longer than a minute. All of that in just less than a minute, you guys. You see what I mean? Okay, even the hostage did well. Stone yelled through the closed door that Godeka was trying to talk to Mac. She also told Mac to step closer and show his empty hands. She seemed pretty calm, Mac said. I thought she handled herself really well. Firefighters quickly doused the blaze. Godeka is accused of 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder, arson, kidnapping, 3 counts of first-degree assault, 1 count of second-degree assault, and a count of burglary. He will be arraigned today. I will never endorse this kind of behavior, ever. But you would just think there would be more coverage of this because they really ruined his life. Wednesday's attack was apparently the culmination of Godeka's long-standing grudge against the Portland. Yeah, because all ex-Scientologists have grudges, right? Ex-Scientologists that were essayed as children. Ex-Scientologists that were AR'd and told it was their fault. Ex-Scientologists that have had every cent, every dime, every amount of their money taken away from them. Ex-Scientologists that have had their families forcibly separated. Wednesday's attack was apparently the culmination of Godeka's long-standing grudge against the Portland and San Francisco Church of Scientology offices. Godeka has listed several addresses in Portland and San Francisco after numerous arrests on traffic violations. Now, think about that, you guys. Think about that. Why would this guy have numerous traffic violations? Could it be fair gaming? Including drunken driving and driving without insurance. I mean, if and allegedly the cops were doing that, they were in on it. In February, Godeka pleaded no contest to attempted coercion in connection with the calls to the church's Portland branch. He could give me no specifics of what we had actually done to him and what his business was, Burke told Portland police in February. He said he had lost everything that was dear to him. You see? I wonder if he has family members still in Scientology. He said he wanted to help his sister go to college that was still in Kenya. And somehow whatever happened in Scientology or after, it prohibited him from helping her. At one point, Godeka told Burke that his anger stemmed from something that had happened at the San Francisco branch, but the Church of Scientology is all the same thing. She said Godeka first came to the Portland office 5 or 6 years ago and took a free personality test. You see, you guys, just say no to the personality test. Just say no. Just say no. We need to do a huge campaign against these personality tests. And bought some books. She thinks he might also have signed up for a home study course. At least one earlier police report involved extortion attempts against the church. That's not extortion against the church. They owe him the money. Get it together, police officers. But details were not available Wednesday. Of course they weren't. Scientology knows all about extortion. After Godeka was introduced to Scientology, they imprisoned my mind to do what they wanted me to do, he told police in February. He also complained to police that the church got him deported to Kenya in 1986 and that Burke was controlling his mind. See, and the cops will act like they don't know anything, right? It's just sickening. I guess anything for money, huh? Hail Satan. The organization is a self-enhancement movement that emphasizes counseling and an approach to problem-solving called Dynetics that was created by church founder and convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard. Jeff Kedro, Special Affairs Director for the San Francisco Church, said Godeka also had threatened workers there in recent months. It could be true. It's possible. But I do wonder if that's true, you know? He was just babbling and threatening to K everyone. He was just saying things that didn't make sense, Kiro said. Maybe he was having a mental breakdown. The news Wednesday shocked the San Francisco church. How can you make sense of senseless acts of violence? Kitos said. Well, geez, Kitos, you're in Scientology. Please tell us. As much violence as you have in Scientology, inquiring minds want to know. It's a scary thing. I don't know what would make someone do something like that. Oh, like it came from nothing, right? It's disturbing and it's shocking, added Angie Mann, Public Affairs Director for the Portland Center. Scientologists are honest, ethical people. Not all of them are. Who want to help. Yes, I do know some of them do. A lot of them do. Our goal is toward a world without crime and a world without insanity. Well, get out of Scientology and you'll see what it's like. Partially, anyways. Peter Farrell, Laura Trujillo, Chastity Pratt of the Oregonian staff contributed to this report. Godeka's odd actions trace back to 1987. Oh, there's another. I'm not going to read that. There's another article. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to put the link to this article in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. And have a good day. Peace.